Hey, this is Gilgamesh. I wanted to talk about Malcolm X because, yeah, here's, I wanted to, yeah, let's look at Malcolm X and see what he says about.
Now, concerning the poll taken by Newsweek magazine, I think you said that this was the leaders who said that, who went with King and against Mr. Muhammad around 90%. I just told you a little while ago, these leaders that they call leaders, this included Lena Horne, this included Dick Gregory, and this included comedians, comics, trumpet players, baseball players. Show me in the white community where a comedian is a white leader. Show me in the white community where a singer is a white leader, or a dancer or a trumpet player is a white leader. These aren't leaders. These are puppets and clowns that have been set up over the...
Yes, he's absolutely 100% right. He doesn't like Republicans. He doesn't like conservatives, but he cannot stand the liberals. He's even said the thing is that he doesn't trust conservatives, but the liberal is more dangerous because they straight up do nothing but lie all the time. He's been right. And this is why he also doesn't support Israel. He went to Gaza, he saw the horrors being inflicted, and he denounced Israel. And this is why Mossad assassinated him. They also killed MLK, Martin Luther King Jr., because he also went to Gaza and he denounced Israel and said it was disgusting and he could never support an evil. And it said that both of these guys said that Israel should not be there. They do not have a right to be on Palestinian land. I agree with these two. This is why they were both assassinated. And also Mossad killed JFK. This is why Donald Trump doesn't want anybody to know the truth about JFK's death. He's even said, he's been shown the proof that who it was, and that's clear because he said he would never open the files of the real files on JFK. They were also responsible for killing Michael Jackson because the Zionists demanded, in Hollywood wanted Michael dead because he was speaking out against them for raping kids in Hollywood. This is why they went after him and tried to ruin his life and put him on trial and they did the same thing to O.J. Simpson, and I can go into that whole thing. It's not a conspiracy. Remember, 9/11 was done by Bush administration along with Mossad. They flew the planes and towers. Nobody, it was a false flag to go into the Arab world to destroy it, to protect Zionist, an illegal occupation called Zionist Israel, to take and create the greater Israel, which is get rid of not just Palestine, all of Syria. All the Arab world would become, and Egypt would become what's known as Israel. There would be no Arabs. That's why they say there were never any Arabs. And it turns out, and I hate saying the word Israeli, but an Israeli genealogist was able to prove that where the European Jew and American Jew come from was Turkey, northeast Turkey. And it's a fact when you look at the food of these Jews. What do they eat? They don't eat pork. Muslims don't eat pork. They don't drink alcohol. And in the women cover up. And also, the food that they eat comes from Turkey and Greece. Yes. And the reason they were chased out was the Byzantine Empire, that is the Catholic Church being moved to Turkey, found out there were Jews in Turkey and chased them out. And they ended up going to Europe. Because there were already Jews living in Syria and in Iran. They were still there. Iran still has Jews living in their country, and same with Christians. And there's Jews and Christians in Syria that Assad protects. He protected Christians. So, but Malcolm X here, he's making a good point that these are all just puppets of the CIA, the Zionists who run our government. What do you think the ideal is? And actual Jews have condemned the ideal. So,
the white community and over the black community, by the white community, and have been made celebrities and usually say exactly what they know that the white man wants to hear. And it is an honor, actually, that they endorsed Dr. Martin Luther King and were against the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. That's actually an honor. Now, when you say that they also, in the same Newsweek poll magazine, I think the pollster said that he went into the Negro community and asked about the Muslims. And many Negroes whom he asked said, well, I never heard of the Muslims. Who are they? You know,
this is the rank and file we're talking about.
Oh, yeah. Now, when they got down to the rank and file, this was the answers that they got. This is equivalent to the situation in Kenya during the Mau Mau uprising, when many frightened whites in Kenya, Africa, would go among the Africans and ask them, what about the Mau Mau? And the African would say, I never heard of them. And the same white man who would ask the African this question and very naively believe what the African said, when he went to bed that night, he would lose his head. And usually the one who took his head was the same African who told him that afternoon he had never heard of the Mau Mau.
Except in the Newsweek poll, they used Negro interviewers.
You'll find that oftentimes Negroes are as much on guard around Negro interviewers, who usually represent the bourgeois element of Negroes, as they are on guard around whites.
I respect
usually Negroes know that when this bourgeois Negro walks through the door, he is not doing something that he's initiated himself, but he's involved in something in which the white man is the absolute author of and has sent him to the Negro community for some information.
And here's the thing. There's two types of people back in the day in our country, communists and Zionists. And, you know, the Zionists were the ones who ran the CIA. They still do. They're the ones who created Operation Mockingbird, which they used what's called McCarthyism to go after the communists. But Joseph McCarthy was a well-known Zionist. So was cross-dresser of the FBI, J. Edgar Hoover. And everybody in the CIA were puppets of the Zionist illegal occupation of Israel. And so this is why, because they forced a rabbi, and this rabbi, he's gotten his dispute with I don't like Candace Owens, but he's gotten into it and he said, oh, you think I killed? Yeah, they murdered Michael Jackson. He's a Zionist. They're the ones who trafficked children. They're the ones who helped Epstein become the sex trafficker that he was to teenage girls, by the way, not to preteen kids. Let's get that directly. Anybody who calls themselves Zionist was a client of Epstein. So let's get back to this.
And when they give that Negro some information, usually they give him the information that they want him to take back to the white man, because that's who he's going to take it back to.
Our time is just about up, Minister Malcolm, and perhaps you could summarize and conclude by giving us, in your opinion, or in the opinion of Mr. Elijah Muhammad, what would be the ideal solution to the racial problem in the United States today?
Well, on Thursday, October the 3rd, the New York Tribune, in an editorial, pointed out in Boston, in an article called The Civil Rights Iceberg, they pointed out how Kennedy had realized that beneath the water, the civil rights whole problem was political suicide. Because in his own hometown, the head of the Board of Education, a woman named Mrs. Hicks, was running against the NAACP philosophy, and she swept aside all other opposition. The whole white community supported her in opposition to the NAACP's desire for integrated schools, integrated housing, and otherwise. So I say that to say this, that even the Jewish community, which is supposed to be pro-liberal, went against the NAACP. Whites are against integration in practice, but they're for it in principle. So the only solution is separation. And the Honorable Elijah Muhammad says that this can be brought about simply by letting our people be exposed to the truth about ourselves, about the white man, about our history and our condition in this country. And once we are exposed to the complete truth about things as they actually exist in this country, the masses of black people will choose complete separation from this entire system, political system, economic system, social system, and whatever other aspect or description or adjective you want to attach to it. Let us go back home to our own people, live among our own kind, and solve our own problems ourselves. And if the white man doesn't want us to go back to our own people and live in our own country, then since we can't get along together in peace on this country with white people, Let us separate part of this continent, migrate to that separate territory. Let the government give us everything we need to establish our own independent economic system and society, and thereby we'll be able to solve our own problems ourselves and prove that we are human beings and a part of the human family and can do for ourselves what other humans have done for themselves. And then we'll be able to stop blaming the white man for what he has done and stop begging the white man to solve our problems. We'll be able to solve our problems ourselves.
Thank you very much.
Oh, and I agree with that. And, you know, here's I don't know if this is the same one, but here's another one that I want to look at. Yeah. Interview with Malcom X, where a singer is a white leader. Yeah, show me the comedian. Yeah, this I think is the same, but much longer. No, this is different. Oh no, it's the same one.
Today, in our discussion of minority groups, we have with us two guests. One is Minister Malcom X Shabazz, one of the top leaders of the Nation of Islam, or the so-called black Muslims.
Yep.
The charge of violence against us actually stems from the guilt complex that exists in the conscious and subconscious minds of most white people in this country. They know that they've been violent in their brutality against Negroes, and they feel that someday the Negro is going to wake up and try and do unto them as they have done unto the whites as the whites have done unto us.
Yep.
We are the violent group. When we see our people being brutalized by white bigots, white racists, we think that they are foolish to allow themselves to be beaten and brutalized and do nothing whatsoever to protect themselves. They are foolish. They should have the right to defend themselves against any attack made against them by anyone. If a dog is biting a black man, the black man should kill the...
This is what Martin Luther King Jr. talked about. Trying to be non-violent in this country, he knew that you have to use violence to fend off the oppressors. Because trying to be non-violent, it doesn't get you anything. Go look at what happened to Mahatma Gandhi. He used peaceful protest, didn't give him anything. He starved himself. He didn't die, but his peaceful thing didn't end. It took a violent uprising against the British to finally expel them from India. Like, you know, that's what you have to do. You have to use the same tools of violence against the oppressors to free yourself. This is like the story about John Brown, I think was his name. He was a slave who basically only freed himself after he killed all of the entire his slave master's family. He did. He freed himself and others when he had to use violence. This is why the IRA are not a terrorist organization when they went up against the British government. Same thing with the Hamas. Anybody who fights oppression is, in fact, a freedom fighter. That's why you can't call him a terrorist.
The dog.
Yeah.
Whether the dog is a police dog, a hound dog, or any kind of dog. If a dog
look at
is picked on a black man.
The guy is on the ground. He has no way to fight, and the dog, he's sick. Look at him. His hands are handcuffed. He's on the ground, and this fucking racist has sicked his dog on him, and it's biting the hell out of his arm, and he's handcuffed behind his back, and he can't do anything.
When that black man is doing nothing but trying to
the cop can't
take
get the dog
advantage of
out
what the
'cause
government
he
says
sicked
is
him on
supposed
him.
to be his, then that black man should
And look.
kill that dog or any two-legged dog who sicks the dog on him.
Should other black men help that particular person who was attacked?
Yes.
I think you'll find, sir, that there will come a time when black people wake up
Yeah.
and become intellectually independent enough to think for themselves, as other humans are intellectually independent enough to think for themselves. Then the black man will think like a black man.
Yeah.
And he will feel for other black people. And this new thinking and feeling will cause black people to stick together. And then at that point, you'll have a situation where when you attack one black man, you are attacking all black men. And
they'll
this
fight back.
type of black thinking will cause all black people to stick together. And this type of thinking also will bring an end to the brutality inflicted upon black people by white people. And it is the only thing that will bring an end to it. No federal court, state court, or city court will bring an end to it. It's something that the black man has to bring an end to himself. Being friendly and being a friend, I think, are two different things. I think there are many whites who act friendly toward Negroes. A fox acts friendly toward the lamb. And usually the fox is the one who ends up with the lamb chop on his plate. The wolf doesn't act friendly.
No.
And therefore the wolf has more difficulty in getting the lamb chop in his plate.
I'd like to point out, though, that...
And I say that because it is usually if you study the structure of the Negro community, economically, politically, civically, psychologically, and otherwise, it's controlled by the white liberal, who usually poses as the friend of the Negro, who actually differs from the white conservative in the same way that the fox differs from the wolf. Their appetite is the same. Their motives are the same. It's only their mannerisms and methods that differ. I'm suspicious of whites who join Negroes and always have to be in the lead, who always have to be the head, who always have to be at the top in Negro organizations. Those whites who really have the interest of blacks at heart, let them give some advice to some Negroes and stand on the sideline. But don't join the organization and then get at the head of it and pose as a friend of Negroes.
Well, I think that today you could point to a large number of Negro leaders who have consistently betrayed Negroes in a whole host of areas.
They aren't really Negro leaders. These are puppets that have been put in front of the Negro community by white liberals.
And we have them today.
These are parrots that have been put in front of the...
And you have them today. You have Al Sharpton. You have Jesse Jackson. You have, what's his name? He says he's running for president. I forget his name. It skips my mind, but you have this in the black community. You have so many of these people that will do anything they're told. Look at this squad. You have a black woman in there who betrays her own people to be accepted by white people. This is why I don't try to be accepted by groups of people. This is why I think I get along with black people, because I'm not trying to be accepted by them. I don't try to, I want to be your friend. I just go and talk to them. Same with Muslims. If you just talk to people and you don't try to force yourself on them, you can truly become friends. But here's the thing. You have, rappers and all this dumb people in Hollywood and everything who want to tell other black people, you need to vote Democrat. See, Malcom, here's the thing. A conservative will tell you to your face one thing. Okay, they'll tell you, exactly tell you exactly and then try to lead you. A Democrat will tell you one thing and it's a total lie. And they'll betray you. They've betrayed black people. That's why they did the Civil Rights Movement. So they get blacks to be dumb enough to think Democrats care about us. They have never done one fucking thing to help Democrats. In fact, they were the ones trying to keep black kids from being integrated into white schools so they could get a proper education. This is why they have places like Chicago has this separate two-part, where the poor black people live in abject poverty while the rich white people live in the nice part of Chicago. The same thing in Ferguson. They had the rich side, which was nice. Black side was shit. And all the cops there don't even live in Ferguson. You have this a lot. Look at Compton. They don't have, well, one big reason was the riots of, that happened after the police were acquitted of what happened to Rodney King. And that's but yeah, he's right about this. The white liberal
the Negro community by white liberals. You can't name me a Negro leader who has betrayed Negroes, who has not been endorsed, sanctioned, subsidized and supported by the white liberals. Now, concerning the poll taken by Newsweek magazine, I think you said that this was the leaders who said that, who went with King and against Mr. Muhammad around 90%. I just told you a little while ago, these leaders that they call leaders, this included Lena Horne, this included Dick Gregory, and this included comedians, comics, trumpet players, baseball players. Show me in the white community where a comedian is a white leader. Show me in the white community where a singer is a white leader, or a dancer or a trumpet player is a white leader. These aren't leaders. These are puppets and clowns that have been set up over the white community and over the black community by the white community, and have been made celebrities and usually say exactly what they know that the white man wants to hear. You'll find that oftentimes Negroes are as much on guard around Negro interviewers, who usually represent the bourgeois element of Negroes, as they are on guard around whites. Usually Negroes know that when this bourgeois Negro walks through the door, he is not doing something that he's initiated himself, but he's involved in something in which the white man is the absolute author of and has sent him to the Negro community for some information. And when they give that Negro some information, usually they give him the information that they want him to take back to the white man, because that's who he's going to take it back to.
Send me a fig one feet. No, me and a rat, but me I go there for the cheese. So that.
And I think that's the same thing. Yeah, this is the thing about Malcom X. He goes, opinion. Black celebrities aren't my political heroes. Yeah. Many black celebrities in the past 2 weeks have made political statements that have sent, see, this is the thing. Black celebrities will screw black people over. They do this all the time. They get embedded with these white people who tell them what to do. Yeah, the political leader Malcom X had an interview, Berkeley, where, you heard him talk about the puppets. He called them, they weren't heroes. Like you said, you'll never find a white musician, actor, or anything being a leader. And he's always, like, you look at, like, Russians. Russians, are very weary of anybody who pushes this whole, And here's the thing, it's like this clown, Ice Cube, proved Malcom X right. Black celebrities are not our heroes, And basically, remember when he said, I have a contract with Black America, and what did he do? He voted for Joe Biden. Very guy who wrote the crime law with, with the member of the Klan, Strom Thurmond, that made sure black people were put in prison for long prison sentences, even if they didn't commit a violent crime. In the land of the blind, the one-eyed man is king. In the post-civil rights era, after the assassination of Martin Luther King and Malcolm X, both by Israel, that's right, because they denounced Israel. Mossad assassinated them. They also assassinated JFK. Celebrities have been elevated as heroes. Why? In the black community. I don't consider anybody really white, heroes, actors. Nope. People often assume those put on the pedestal for their musical, athletic, and artistic skills are also qualified to lead. And this is what Malcolm X said. They don't. They're puppets. Indeed, many black Americans find pride in seeing people who look like them succeed. And they often assume that black people who achieve these heights, who break a glass ceiling, deserve more than just fame. But our adoration, or our will and our willing ear. Nevertheless, becoming a talented musician doesn't inherently make someone qualified to be a civil rights leader. That's right. During the 1963 interview, Malcom X imparted some wisdom to the black community. Show me in the white community where a comedian is a white leader. They're not. They never are. Show me in the white community where a singer is a white leader, or a dancer, or a trumpet player is the white leader, and suggested that they have been made celebrities, and usually say exactly what they know the white man see. Yeah, this is true. They all do this. Musician and all these black celebrities, they hardly ever stand on their own 2 feet. Yeah. Yeah. Do what they have been, yeah. White man wants to hear. While it's true that artists are essential to the black liberation movement and have made substantial contributions in culture, it's also true that celebrities don't make the best heroes. No, they don't. Civil rights activists doing the work, putting boots on the ground and in their communities and advocating for structural changes that will improve the lives of black people, and in the end also white people, deserve our attention. However, black scholars, politicians, and community leaders rarely receive the flowers that black celebrities do. Too often we're led astray by flashy gold cow style of celebrities full of pomp and circumstance, but no substance. When we make the mistake of idolizing celebrities as heroes, we end up giving the mic to people who don't have our best interests in mind. This is about anybody in Hollywood. Most of these idiot people never even finished school. So yeah, this is true. I mean, very true. I'm not going to go through it. They want you to pay for this shit. I'm not going to do that. So yeah, screw this. I'm not going to do that. We're going to talk about that. But yeah, this is very true that in the black community, blacks will betray each other. Whites do too. But it's strange how people like Ice Cube here and others are considered these leaders, and they're not. They've betrayed the black people to the white liberal. And Malcolm, yeah, he made it very clear. He doesn't trust the white liberal. They'll tell you what you want to hear and then stab you in the back. So, this is Gilgamesh. I will talk to you later. Bye.